pay you to do what needs to be done, and you begin to mismanage the money, now they can come and say, you know, if you don't do this way, we're going to put you in jail, and we'll put your good name in the newspaper that you own this and this and that and this and that and that and that. And but remember, when you came to me, I told you I needed that and this and that for that, but it's in your name. But then you knew I had a corporation, but we had to do it this way because of this and that. Well, the people won't understand that. What is your decision? Give us your books and your bylaws, and your name can stay there, and we don't need your wisdom, but we need you to come around every now and then, because now the power of economics was in your hand, and now it's been switched from you, and you're just there, but the power to control is not there, but your name is there. The worst thing you can have is a church that controls the preacher. In a community, listen, in a community where there's high crime, where there's prostitution, where it's trashy and dirty, the worst thing you can have is a preacher that just reports to the deacon board, or reports to a board of 5 that tells him, you know, how much he's going to get paid this year, and you know, doesn't matter how many 10-day fasts you went on, Reverend. We hear what you say God said, but this is the church business. And according to what we have written here, we tell you what to do. Now, you just preach Sunday morning and go on. But I want to reach the community. And listen, there ain't nobody never been worth nothing here anyway. Ain't nobody really trying to live nothing. We know God is real. If God wants it fixed, he'll fix it. But oppression would drive you crazy. Now let's get to the product. I want to hurry up because I feel something coming behind me that I need to sit down and hear. It says here, better is the end of a thing than the beginning of thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Be not hasty in our spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosoms of fools. In your oppression, your worst way out is anger, in frustration, because when you have raw anger, you can't think straight. You do foolish things. In raw anger, you'll do the wrong thing. And you'll make yourself an open target. We have no one that is capable of coming forth in this hour and that is effective, that we can lose too prematurely as a martyr. Now, if Paul Masson said we produce no wine before it's time, I know that's comical, but you think about his product. You don't get his product till he feels it's necessary for it to leave his stock. But when his product leaves, it's packaged. I know that's a bad comparison talking about drinking. But it's amazing that there are religious organizations that own vineyards. And they take the revenue from that which is being polluted in the hearts of the ungodly and apply it to the building of their kingdom. Because they have gotten a vision on economics. Now, don't throw nothing up here. But they got someone in there and said, listen, we could take that revenue there and bring that over here. There are organizations that owns the grocery store that you eat in, and they're religious organizations. And that wealth goes back to that organization. Let's move down to the next one. I got to touch this. It says here, say not thou, what is the cause of the former days were better than these? For thou doest not inquire wisely concerning this. People begin to look backwards. When oppression comes, it makes you think in reverse. I wish I lived back there when they wore spats and bow ties and they had the 1920 Cadillacs. And I wish I was in the time when we had mules and horses. And I wish I could go back to Africa and live. The reason these statements are made, there's a lack of something, and it says it in the next verse. It says, wisdom is good with an inheritance. Therefore, if you got wisdom, and if you didn't inherit something with it, you have nothing. But if you have wisdom, and someone sacrificed in their generation and left you wealth, they trained you with nothing, taught you how to budget, created an economist's mind in you, put a leader inside of you, and then when an inheritance came, you became empowered through your wisdom to not look at the former days, because now with your wisdom and money, you are a visionary. And I got a scrapbook of the future, of things that are going to be done, of things that are going to be done, of things that are going to be done. The next part of this is powerful. Look what it says. It says here, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun. Wisdom with money makes money under the sun. It brings gain. Economics. Solomon is teaching a point on economics. There has to be a way that you bring finances into a place where it can be properly administrated. This is why the Bible said, bring ye all the tithe into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house. I mean concrete substance. Not just so you can come in and get a word from God. What is meat? Meat is something that has substance, that others need your meat. You can sell your meat. You're empowered because you have thinkers at the forefront of that organization, at that church, that have the church at heart, but they're thinking for generations, and they have sacrificed the time of being a fool or a waster to become one in tune and ingrained with a focus to say, I am the individual of sacrifice. Because there are things that are going to change. The next verse blows me away. I know you can't catch me. I'm already running. It says here, for wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. Wisdom comes from a Greek word, Hebrew word, Sophia. It means supernatural understanding of God, different from what we see as it's prescribed or interpreted or translated in the Greek. It gives a different kind of understanding that your wisdom is not earthly, but it's supernatural. It's not sensual, but it's revelatory. When they speak about certain things, you don't understand it, but give you a minute to become revelatory. And wisdom appears and explains to you through your own lips what's happening. It's a defense. This is why people that have no money can't go to the White House and be fussing about their school system. People that are not a nation couldn't go to Pharaoh on their own and say, let us go. People that didn't have money are picked out to be picked on. When there's no wisdom and no one to lead you, the Egyptians looked into the slave camp and said, look at them, they are multiplying. We've got to stop this. Put some disease up there. I got to say this is strong, but it's true. When the medical profession says we can't train enough doctors because people are just outright eating right. Then the media says there's a flu epidemic coming. It's coming from the midst of the sea. Some strange company, Ilababubu, had some kind of disease. and the wind picked it up, and it's on its way to America. And you got to get immunized and come down and get your flu shot.